To start off our lesson today, we're going to be looking at expanded noun phrases. Remember, we can make a noun phrase by adding two adjectives before the noun or to include additional information or detail after the noun. So if you've got lots of describing words, put that in front of a noun and you've made a noun phrase. By adding more than one adjective, you make an expanded noun phrase, or by adding an extra bit of detail rather than just the noun, the object, it makes it expanded. It just makes it a little bit more interesting to read your writing when it's got expanded noun phrases in as opposed to just nouns. So we're going to have a go at seeing if we can turn some of these nouns into an expanded noun phrase. I'll have a go at the first one, and then I want you to see if you can have a go at the next ones. So instead of just saying fajitas, I could think of some adjectives to describe the fajitas, and I could add that towards the end or the beginning to make it an expanded noun phrase. So I could say, instead of fajitas, delicious, spicy fajitas. Now, straight away, just by adding those two adjectives, it makes it a bit more detailed, a bit more interesting, and turns it from just this boring noun of fajitas into an expanded noun phrase, delicious, spicy fajitas. I wonder if you can have a go at changing these into expanded noun phrases. Spices. What kind of spices are being used? What are they like? Can you add some extra detail to make it into an expanded noun phrase? So if I was changing spices, I could say spices that make you hot. So I've made it still a noun because that's the thing. It's spices that make you hot. That is the thing I'm talking about. But instead of just having one word to make it a noun, I've expanded it to make it a noun phrase. You might have maybe added some adjectives to the front of it to make it into, I don't know, tasty, glorious spices. It's completely up to you, isn't it? How you can make it an expanded noun phrase. Let's have a go at one more. Onion. Think I know what words I'd use to describe onion. I don't like onions. So I think I'd probably use words like disgusting and smelly. Maybe you do like onions though. Maybe in your fajitas you'd quite enjoy them. Actually, if I was making instructions for fajitas, I probably wouldn't say disgusting and smelly because then that's not going to make people want to buy them and eat them. So maybe I might try and maybe make it up a little bit and say what I think the onions are like. What do you think? What would you have as your expanded noun phrase? Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to lie a little bit, even though I don't like onions personally. I know some people do, so I might say tasty, tangy onions. They're definitely tangy. That's probably why I don't like them. But here, we've straight away up leveled some of the vocabulary that we could use in our instructions and just make it a bit more interesting for the reader. So instead of just using one word, you could try and add a little bit more detail by using some adjectives to make it expanded noun phrases. Remember that for when you're writing your own set of instructions tomorrow. So today, we are going to see as our objective if we can up level a set of simple instructions. So what I've given you today, or what I will be giving you today, is a set of instructions, and I want to see if you can improve them by correcting any mistakes and maybe just making them that bit more interesting. So to be successful, we're going to see if we can use different punctuation and adjectives to improve a set of instructions. We're going to see if we can use verbs and adverbs to improve a set of instructions. And we're going to see if we can use a range of grammar and punctuation to improve a set of instructions. So on the screen, I have got some instructions, but there are some mistakes, and maybe there's some bits that we could make a bit more interesting as well. So I'm going to allow you to pause the video, have a look through and see if you can, first of all, spot any mistakes and what would you do to fix them? And secondly, would you add anything to make them that bit more interesting? Pause now and have a look. Okay, I've hopefully had enough time to do that. I can definitely see there are a few mistakes. For instance, in this introduction here, these instructions explain how you make tacos for you and all your friends. They will all want you to make more. See, I got a bit confused when I was reading that because I don't think that's one sentence. I think that's two sentences that should be split up with a full stop. So let's see, where should I stop reading? These instructions explain how to make tacos. Oh, it could stop there. For you and oh no, that doesn't make sense. How to make tacos for you and all of your friends. They will all want you to make more. I think that's a separate bit of information. I think a full stop should go after friends, and I'll start a new sentence. Now, do remember that every sentence starts with a capital letter, so there should be a capital letter at the very start as well. These instructions explain how to make tacos for you and all of your friends. They will all want you to make more. I think at the end of that, probably an exclamation mark. They'll all want you to make more. I could up level that by maybe adding an adjective to describe the tacos. So I could say delicious tacos for you and all of your wonderful friends. They will all want you to make more. Let's maybe add a conjunction because they are so fantastic. Okay, now into the actual instructions. Number 1, preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. I think all of that's correct. Now there's a line underneath Celsius because it wants me to change it to a capital C. And that's because Celsius is the name of the person who invented the scale that we measure temperature on. And because it's the name of a person, it needs to be a capital letter. Speaking of capital letters, there should be a capital letter for the preheat there. But actually, I'm not going to put that there because I'm going to add a time connective. We're missing a time connective. So I'm going to say, as it's the first instruction, firstly, comma, preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Number 2, secondly, heat the oil in a large pan over a medium heat. Oh, I like that this says large pan and medium heat. So it's describing a little bit already. But I've just noticed that for the secondly, there's a mistake, isn't there? We didn't use a capital S at the beginning. It's spelt wrong. I was obviously rushing when I was writing this. Secondly, comma, heat oil in a large pan over medium heat. Probably should say over a medium heat. Sounds better. And full stop at the end because it's just an instruction. Maybe I could add an adverb like we did yesterday to make that a bit clearer. So secondly, I think I probably need to be quite cautious when I'm dealing with hot oil because hot oil can burn you and really hurt. So I'm going to say cautiously. Secondly, cautiously heat the oil in a large pan over a medium heat until it is fully cooked. Or fully not cooked, that doesn't make sense, until it is fully heated. Obviously, there's nothing cooking yet, silly me. The last one there, number 3, says, next, add the peppers, onions, and cheese into the pan. Okay, capital N for the beginning of the sentence. Hopefully you spotted that. Pause after the time connective. Add the peppers, onions, and cheese. Now, there's a list of 3 things there. We know what to do in a list. There should be a comma. Next, add the peppers, onions, and cheese to the pan. Full stop to end my sentence. Did you see, hopefully you were following along, that I was improving the instructions, but also correcting any mistakes that there were. That's what your job is going to be today. I'd like you to edit a set of instructions by including the missing punctuation and grammar. And if you want to make any improvements to the instructions to make them clearer, to make them more interesting, that would be a good idea as well. In tomorrow's lesson, we're going to be doing big writing. Yeah! We're going to be writing our own set of instructions about how to make fajitas using everything that we've learned over the last 2 weeks. So today, read the instructions that I've written and see if you can improve them. And then tomorrow, you're going to see if you can make even better instructions than my ones.